Mother Nature. According to your terrestrial nomenclatures, I would be the CEO of planet Earth. That is to say, it is I, and I alone, who have full responsibility for controlling and protecting planet Earth. In the universe, Earthlings are not the only ones, very far from that. You can imagine, there are an endless number of different life forms in the universe. And I am only the CEO of the planet Earth. My main function is to ensure that the planet Earth is conserved, and I have full permission to keep it by any means possible. Contrary to what you may think, the ultimate goal of birthing humans on Earth is to give them the possibility to purify themselves, that is to say, according to your earthly language, to cleanse their karma. Because, if you are born on the planet Earth, it is because, necessarily, you have a karmic quota at birth. And, the ultimate goal of humans on Earth is to get rid of this karmic quota. We could thus call the planet Earth, the Siberia of the universe, in comparison with the Russians, who sent their prisoners to Siberia on punitive expeditions. And, after the human being has passed through planet Earth, he is sent to other places, higher or lower, depending on whether he has achieved his ultimate goal or not on planet Earth, that is, whether he has purified his karmic quota or not. Unfortunately, the human being, by his ridiculous science that he created, ended up believing that he had become superior to me, Mother Nature. The human being, mainly because of erroneous theories, such as that of Darwin, believed that I was imperfect, and that I was only doing things on planet Earth, at random. For example, this flawed theory by Darwin made mankind believe that I only do things halfway, and that therefore, you, human being, you had to complete my work, which would thus be imperfect. And, this is the mistake of your so-called science, which encourages a so-called civilization, by destroying my work. Let me give an example. Humans believe that the fruits and vegetables, which I offer them for free, and in abundance, are not good enough. So as a result, human beings poison my fruits and vegetables with toxic chemicals that human beings have made themselves, through their so-called science. By doing this, the human being is digging his own grave. Another example would be to believe that the birds, which I created for the welfare and psychological harmony of the human being himself, had, according to the so-called science of the human being, to be caged or eaten. So, the human being believed himself to be superior to me, and, to complete my supposedly imperfect and incomplete work, he began basing himself on its ridiculous science, to modify, distort, shatter, destroy, all the good things that I have offered to human beings, on a silver platter. Finally, in the name of their lousy science, the human beings are, more and more, destroying the beautiful planet Earth, which I gave them. And, this, to such a point, where it would be fair to say, that the human being is destroying himself, by destroying his own medium, that is to say, the planet Earth. But, as I am the CEO of planet Earth, it is my duty to ensure that planet Earth is preserved and not destroyed. And, to achieve this end, I have all possible means at my disposal. These means may seem cruel according to the mistaken science of human beings, but for the welfare of human beings themselves, these means are necessary. Let me give an example. 65 million years ago, dinosaurs were destroying other living species on Earth, and in doing so, destroying Earth itself. As my duty is to ensure that Earth is conserved, 65 million years ago I had to find a way to destroy the destroyers of planet Earth. And this means was well calculated, in order to destroy, more or less selectively, only the dinosaurs, and to conserve other living species, those which, at that time, were not a danger for planet Earth. And, through the selective elimination of these destructive dinosaurs, I was able to rebuild the Earth, and prepare for the arrival of humans. And, much later, the human being arrived, and evolved. But, unfortunately, over time, human beings have completely forgotten their primary mission during their passage on the planet Earth, that is to say, their mission to purify their karmic quota. This priority mission was, unfortunately, because of a so-called civilization according to the principles of the human being, transformed into a mission to be, above everything else, the happiest human being possible, while on planet Earth. And, to be as happy as possible, the human being could still have been, by eliminating his karmic quota, through spiritual practices, which I have made available to everyone. But, the more civilized the human being became, the more he thought that thanks to his ridiculous science, he could be happy otherwise. That is to say, to be happy, thanks to the very application of his laughable science, where to be as happy as possible, has become synonymous with to have as much materials as possible. That is to say, according to this formula, the more material human beings have, the happier they would be. In other words, the human being would be the happiest possible, the more money he would have, with which he could buy materials, such as houses, cars, jewelry, etc. At this level, the original mission of the human being, which was to eliminate his karmic quota, has remained very far behind, deep in oblivion. And, to achieve these ends, according to this mistaken formula for being happy, the human being has to develop his paltry science in such a direction, in order to serve this mistaken mission. As a result, to be the happiest possible, human beings found themselves in competition with themselves. And, it was this race for money, which ended up destroying, little by little, the planet Earth, through pollution of all kinds, crimes among men, corruption, the killing of animals, lies, etc. Ultimately, Earth finds itself on the verge of extinction, with the destruction of its ozone layer, and its global warming. The Earth finds itself in a similar situation to what it was just before the dinosaurs were eliminated, 65 million years ago. I, Mother Nature, my primary mission is to conserve the planet Earth by all means possible. And, as I said a moment ago, I use all possible means at my disposal to conserve it. These means may seem cruel according to the mistaken science of human beings, but for the welfare of human beings themselves, these means are necessary. Have human beings become the species to be selectively eliminated from Earth, just like the dinosaurs, 65 million years ago? The answer is yes. And, by eliminating the human beings, I will be able to rebuild the Earth, and make it continue to live. Destroying the destroyers of the Earth is my priority mission to me, Mother Nature. I do this after having hoped, for a long time, that human beings would regain their sanity. But, to no avail, the human being is lost, madly, in his own trap. I have warned him, time and time again, through tsunamis, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, volcanic eruptions, etc. But, the human being has still not understood anything, and still persists in his nonsense. And, that's why I sent you, what you have called the COVID-19. A virus cannot be created by humans, because only I, Mother Nature, can infuse life. I sent this virus to selectively destroy those who destroy the Earth, that is, the human beings. And, I am doing this to conserve the Earth, and to protect it from the hands of the destroyers. The human beings, the destroyers, retaliated by creating, according to their ludicrous science, vaccines, supposedly to protect themselves against my viral weapon. It is once again not knowing me. My primary mission is to conserve the Earth, by all possible means. The human beings believe that, thanks to their ridiculous science, they could stop my primary mission. But these vaccines, created by this ridiculous science of the human beings, are absolutely nothing in front of my eyes. These vaccines, in addition to being filled with toxins, very harmful to the physical body of the human being himself, are laughable, just like the earthly science that made them. As a result, the more vaccines human beings would create, the more I will change my viral formula, to make my virus more and more virulent and therefore, more and more deadly, for human beings. And, the more human beings would use toxic chemicals to try to thwart my virus, the more they will weaken and die. Is there still a solution left to save humans from my virus? Yes, there is only one solution. And, This is not to pray to me, or to implore me, because I cannot deviate from my primary mission. The only unique solution that remains, for a while, is for humans to stop destroying planet Earth. If this happens, I will personally make sure to ask my virus to come back home. Otherwise, I will complete my mission, just as I accomplished my mission towards the dinosaurs, 65 million years ago.